As everyone knows, Death Note is an anime where only swift defeats are possible. There is no such thing as a match between equals. Today, let's take stock of it. The top 10 most powerful attackers in Bleach. Declaration in advance. This inventory only represents personal views. 10th place, Kurosaki. First generation Sword 8, the captain of the original Gotief team, the greatest villain in the history of the Soul Society, mastered the art of the 8,000 sword techniques, an old monster that has lived for thousands of years. Bleach stands out from other manga. The longer you live here, the more impressive you become. There is an old saying that goes, the old are still the spiciest. Although Huojie has retired, it's been a long time since I last brandished the sword to cut down someone. But this doesn't mean she's weaker. As one grows older, the spiritual pressure level of Sister Hua should be the same as that of old Master Yamamoto. First class Lin Wei, but this level of spiritual might doesn't mean anything. You should know that Ryoshouken is a third class spirit, and Nagi is also a third class spirit. The disparity between the two is even greater than that between humans and dogs. The third level is that the team leader has the basic condition to master the Hogger technique. The Sekonto class is a 1,000-year-old monster like Chanshui. Waiting for a moment is the pinnacle of the god of death. Based on the portrayal in the plot, Huojie should be a first class spiritual authority at the half-step grand perfection level. Even old man Yamamoto's swordsmanship is inferior to hers. It is the well-deserved first sword art. The full power of the sword art can be unleashed even more when using the Wong technique. Not only that, Huojie is also an all-around warrior. Various ghostly techniques are readily available. In battle, there are no limits. He is extremely skilled at using concealed weapons. Among the exterminationists, only the guards and the illusionists Huojie cannot be killed with certainty. Count each of the rest as one. None of them are opponents of Huojie. All open. The more people there are, the more excited Huojie gets. If Yu Haobak is still asleep, with just Huojie alone, she could pierce through the invisible empire. Unfortunately, Huojie passed away too early. It does not show the scene of the massacre. She can only settle for the 10th place. Looking forward to Huojie's performance in the Hao chapter. I hope the bartender can give Huojie more screen time. 9th place, Yasuke Necrobar, known as Little Blue Dye. Holy character D, Lethal Dose, a member of the God Forgiveness Guard, created the world-renowned painting. Ichigo Kurosaki carpet. Yasuke is insidious and cunning. I like to appear weak. Let the opponent step into the trap and eliminate them decisively in one move. The ability to cause death is extremely complex. By regulating various microsecond variables, poison the opponent, and the skin can protect himself from the impact of changes. When unable to defeat the opponent, he can also absorb the opponent's spirit particles. Make yourself immune to the opponent's damage. An introduction to abilities that are as cumbersome as mathematical formulas. It represents an extremely powerful force. Among numerous team leaders, Yuroharu Kishiro, Nirvana, Aizen, and Sosuke, it is possible to defeat it without crushing it with spiritual pressure. Millennium Captain or something like that. I'm afraid we'll have to rely on our ability to resist spiritual pressure to win. If the theory of spirit pressure still holds true during a blood battle, in terms of offensive power, the scene is very strong, but there are also quite a few restrictions. I encountered a guy like Yasamura who constantly changes his sword pressure. It will also hurt the enemy by 800 and damage oneself by 1000. Rank 9th. 8th place, Wang Yu, Knife God. Over 2000 years ago, he created the Zenboku-Dan and became a member of the Zero Squad, possessing the sharpest knife in the world. It lies dormant in its scabbard. Wang Yu's ability is the simplest. The sharpness of the sheath conceals the blade. No object can block this knife. The Battle of Lingwang Palace. 4 seconds to quickly defeat 4 extinctionists. It is sufficient to prove the sharpness of this knife and the strength of Wang Yu. In the battle with the Quenchers, Wang Yu didn't put in much effort at all. It should be said that the entire Zero Squad is letting them win. Fight against the enemy, not even bringing his Senpaku sword. Can we say he is serious? Anyway, for the Zero Squad, whether Lin Wang dies or not is not important. Anyway, having alternatives is enough. Is this substitute Ichigo Kurosaki or Yohai? It's all the same to them. 7th, Kogami Kensei, the 11th Sword 8, the extraordinary child who could defeat Huojie 1,000 years ago. Wild animal intuition, the most passionate man in Bleach, sealing oneself solely for the pursuit of the thrill of battle. As long as you can't quickly defeat me, I will become stronger and kill you. Kogami Kenpachi is quite eccentric. 1,000 years ago, one could already say that level cap had been reached. Even Huojie cannot bring him a joyful battle. Therefore, he began to seal himself step by step. From then on, every battle left him weaker, but after sacrificing Huojie to awaken him, his spirit pressure has reached an astonishing level of complete first-class spirit mind. This is the peak of the god of death. His Senpaku, Nigel, is even more terrifying before liberation. The incarnation of the resurrection saber, Yaocho, has the strength to defeat the captain. After the initial detonation, it can blast meteorites. After the Hoko, the son of God was almost cut down to the point of exploding. According to the bartender, when there are too many black stripes on Jero's body, it will never be able to revive again. Kogami Kenpachi almost succeeded. This combat strength is truly terrifying. The side effects of the Hojuju are somewhat significant. The strength is too great. It will make him lose consciousness, only retain the killing instinct, and my body cannot withstand this strength. Wielding the sword too frequently can lead to arm fractures. There are few people who can match this combat strength. UTH place, Shidoro Sanjimaru, Zero Squad's great weaver, the developer of the Death Overlord armor. The only 2 members of the Zero Squad who displayed Hoko. Its swastika technique, Shatteroculus bone-breaking network. Very powerful. Summon a huge loom, cover the enemy with gauze of different colors according to the number of people present. The enemy shrouded by gauze will face their ultimate fate, being killed by the outcome of his own future death while chanting. Because its power is too great, it can only be used after 3 members of the Zero Squad sacrifice themselves. After initiating the Hoko Rusher, it was even more astonishing across the 3 realms. It's the second one besides Blaze of Blades. There are explicit written descriptions of the Hoko Rusher, which can threaten the 3 realms. The Battle of Lingwang Palace, 1,000 Hand Peel instantly defeated 4 guards and 2 Imperial heirs. This is a testament to one's strength. As for the resurrection of the Guardians in the later part, it's purely just talk about being lazy. Each of them belongs to a rule-based system. How can we still play like this? Surrender now. Spiritual pressure goes without saying. All members of the Zero Squad are top-notch. According to the plot description, the Hangyu technique can handle a large number of enemies. It is an all-purpose Wanji that can be used for either full team attack or a single target attack. 5th place, Hey, the leader of the Zero Squad, possessing the world's first blade that can perform the soul slicing technique, an old monster that has lived for at least a million years. It is a special life form akin to the Lin King and the 5 great noble ancestors. One can see through the names of all things in the world. At the moment when the Grim Reaper took Shadow Strike, the monk will then understand the origin of the term Hirokanji and the name of Hirokanji. If monks were to assist the gods of death in mastering the art of cutting souls with their blades, perhaps the number of Hokushoku can be increased by more than 10 times, regardless of whether it's strong or not. Just say whether it's a lot or not and that's it. Monk is one of the few rule-based characters in Bleach. Its regular form of blade of cutting souls, cutting off the name, not the flesh. When half of the name is cut off, it will lose half of its strength, instantly tilting the balance of victory. After awakening, one can grasp the darkness that encompasses everything in the world. At this moment, the soul-cutting blade neither cuts names nor flesh, just first spraying black ink. Those covered by ink lose their names and become powerless. At this moment, I am using the Hakusho white brush with a single character, engraved black ends on the object that has been blackened. The other party will become as vulnerable as a black end. It's a very terrifying blade of soul cutting. Not only that, monks can also use the inner break technique. Senji Dao Taifeng Sha, coalesce into a huge dragon head spewing out hurricane. Li Broken Dao is a superior form of Broken Dao. Not all inner breaking techniques necessarily possess greater power than breaking techniques. It's like not all members of the Zero Squad can defeat Old Man Yamamoto. Finally, it's the monk's ultimate move, don't turn around. It's too dangerous to kill Li, absorb the darkness from the other party, cause the flesh, blood, bones, and remains of the other party to completely disintegrate. It is said that this move will prevent the opponent from reincarnating. In the context of Bleach, it might be impossible to descend into hell. Let the soul and everything related to it be utterly annihilated. The combat prowess of monks is exceptionally formidable. The ability to follow rules combined with world-class spiritual pressure make him have no rivals at all. Unfortunately, I encountered an unreasonable fellow named Yohai. 4th place, Ichigo, head of the guard corps. Holy tech stacks, everything runs through. This guy's attack power is extremely terrifying. After activating the true omnipresence, everything between the muzzle and the target will be pierced through. Only the divine 8 mirror sword can block it. It's even more terrifying after using the holy body. It can emit rays that can penetrate any material, annihilate everything within the reach of the ray. The trumpet of God, the ultimate move that can be used after finishing the holy body. Construct a giant loudspeaker. Wherever the sound reaches, everything is annihilated. After the Eucharist has been celebrated, Ichigo is immune to physical damage and ghostly attacks, natural suppression of death, or suppress any creature other than gods. At this time, Ichigo has already reached God's realm. Only special attack weapons against gods can harm him. Of course, there is another weapon that can harm him. That's Kira Inuzuka from the Bird Special Forces. In terms of attack power, it can be described as quite formidable. Further up, it's the domain of the cheating players. 3rd place, Aizen Sogyo, the only one superior to the king in the world of Bleach, possess the most iconic scenes. The sole executor of the theory of spirit pressure. The deceptive tactics of a master manipulator have left everyone bewildered and confused. The only man who can interrupt the protagonist's BGM. I don't need to elaborate on the power of Aizen, so powerful that it needs no elaboration when appearing in the bloody battle. It's just that several seals have been lifted. Even so, he can still rely on his immense spiritual pressure, overthrow the collapsing Spirit King Palace one-handedly, without chanting. He broke the 19 level of the 5 Dragons extinction technique. It is unprecedented and unparalleled in the ultimate battle with immense spiritual pressure. Surprisingly, it has been affected by the illusion of mirrors and water moons. Yo Hatchback, who has devoured the Spirit King. If all seals are lifted, maybe I can compare with Yo Hatchback. 2nd place, Ichigo Kurosaki, the sole protagonist in the world of Bleach, born with a fully leveled account, mixed race with 4 bloodlines, using the crescent moon formation from the start to the end. Inoue Orhan, the 2nd most evil person in the world of Bleach. Looking back on Ichigo's career, the entire text serves only one purpose: protect your companions and protect your family. And indeed, he protected the person he was meant to protect. After truly awakening, mastery of 4 bloodlines, holding the most primitive moon saber with a single blow, he sliced Spirit King Yoha into 2 halves. It is absolutely top-notch in terms of attack power. 1st place, Yamamoto Gen, Ryuza Shiguchi. Yuha Bak, the leader of the Death God and the Destroyer are tied for 1st place. Let's start with Old Man Yamamoto, the strongest god of death in 1,000 years, possessing the strongest blade-breaking sword in the heat type. Ryo no Hana, all abilities have reached the peak of a god of death. Spiritual pressure, ghostly techniques, and the blade of soul cutting have all reached the pinnacle and cannot be further improved. Only physical strength weakened with the increase of age. The remnant flames of the swastika destruction Tachi are immensely powerful. The 4 major skills of East, West, North, and South can be used to deal with all types of enemies. Once its Hiruken is activated, it will affect all 3 realms. It's been a long time. The temperature of the solar core resulting from this swastika decomposition, it will evaporate all the water in the 3 realms, ultimately leading to the burning and destruction of the 3 realms. Now let's talk about Yohai, the ancestor of the Quenchers, son of the Spirit King, omniscient and omnipotent, newly appointed Spirit King before Yohai devoured the Spirit King. The attack power is strong, but it's far inferior to that of Old Man Yamamoto. But after eating the Spirit King, possessing the authority of the Spirit King, whether the 3 realms collapse or not is all under his control. Using one's own strength can cause the 3 realms to change. In other words, Old Man Yamamoto and Yo Hatchbacker, each of them has the power to destroy the 3 realms with their individual strength. I think it shouldn't be a problem to rank a strong first. Right, okay, that's it for this roundup. If you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see, please add on in the comment section.